this leads to sort of the things that we do. It's also about companies identifying problems that are too big for them to solve on their own. So our two key areas of work are leading company transformation. So we only work with leadership companies who are really committed to this agenda, or at least committed to lead. They might not lead when they start working with us, but that has to be their ambition, because we have a purpose and ambition that needs to be reflected. And the second thing we're finding is that there are a whole load of problems, like, for example, the waste supply chain, which one company might very much want to solve a sort of the reclaiming of a particular waste. So we've been talking to Hindustan Unilever this week about sort of flexible waste, and you know that there are sort of policies on the horizon which are about sort of banning flexible waste, and flexible waste has been banned already in tobacco packaging. So how are they going to solve that? And that's not something that it's down to Hindustan Unilever to solve on their own, or for government to solve on their own. So we also bring together coalitions of businesses and NGOs and others. Shipping is an industry which is the most efficient way of moving goods around the world, but it also has a carbon footprint the size of Germany. So there's a big impact there. Ships use very, very dirty fuel. They use the sort of bunker, which is a level above carbon black, but that's about it. So we basically have brought together a vertical cut of the supply chain. So we've got a shipbuilder, a lot of ship owners, some ship operators, some ship charterers, financiers, insurers, customers, classifiers, and so basically have got together a group of people who want to lead the industry and find a new way forward. And they have set out a vision for what they want shipping to look like, and we're now working on practical innovations with them about solving some of the problems they've identified. So one problem in shipping, which is also true in building, and I don't know whether or not you came up against this when you were building this amazing campus, but is the whole challenge of split incentives. So essentially, if you own a ship, you don't often operate a ship. So why would you put energy efficient technology on your ship? Because, so are you saying that if a company continues, then there'll be more damage to the environment, so you can't match those two, essentially? Yeah, so not every company can be sustainable in the long term, because there are some companies that are damaging the environment, and we would probably prefer that they were less sustainable in themselves. And when we're talking about sustainability, we're talking about sustainability of the overall planet. But in this gentleman's question, we were talking about sustainability of the company and the organisation. And actually, the leading companies we're working with see those two in parallel. They're quite often well-established, sort of long-run firms, and they want to continue to do that. But they also want people to want them. They want people to want them to exist, and that means decoupling their environmental impact from their profit. And that's the big challenge that we're faced with right now. I don't think any company has quite done it yet at sort of any big multinational. I mean, there are examples like the Fab Indias of this world where they have a slightly different business model, where they probably are much more effective at that. But it's about how do you get those big companies to take on that sort of decoupling journey.